emailing, while effective for convenience, is one of the absolute worst ways to communicate anything important with anyone important, and job searching and job interviewing and recruitment cycles especially qualifies for that. And I know it's very tempting to want to send back and forth communications, but I think you're costing yourself jobs or dollars in the offer. We're going to talk about why that is today. 5 don'ts I want you to pay attention to, 5 gross errors that I think people make during the interviewing process. I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm going to tell you what to do instead so we can help you get those job offers and get paid what you deserve. Now, just in general, I don't want to belabor this point too much. Maybe you've heard of Albert Morabian. He created the personal code of communication. It's that 738-55 rule, which basically says, through all his studies, I don't want to quibble about the numbers, you generally get the idea that 7% of our communication is actually the words we use. Right now, 7% of my communication with you is only what's coming out of my mouth, not even the way it's coming out of my mouth. So that's 7%, which means there's 93% remaining of how communication can be interpreted. 38% is your tone or your voice, you might call it. 55% is your body language, right? All of these things send signals. And when we are emailing, the only thing we have are our words. So I don't want you to remove 93% of your ability when you want to ask something, say something, or simply share how excited you are to work with the organization. So I, as an executive recruiter for a very long time, would handle a lot of the direct communications with my clients. Most of them were over the phone. The only time I would use email would be actually for logistical purposes. Hey, give me the dial-in number, give me the phone, give me the whatever it is. Which office do you want them to go to, those kinds of things. And I never wanted my job candidates to actually communicate directly with the clients, not because I was overly protective of my clients, is because I didn't want the job candidates saying anything silly that was going to cost them offers or money. Now, I'm going to try to take this in the order of the recruitment cycle, but let's just say, sake of argument, you've had an interview. So we're not going to be covering emailing like boss hunting and cover letters and other things that I think we should use emails for to open the door. I want to talk about, once the interview starts, what you should and should not do. First thing, when you have a job interview, the only thing that you should do in the wake of the interview is send a thank you. It's a thank you email. That's all it is, thanking them for your time. It is not an interview rewrite, and I know some of you are probably chuckling right now because this is, you do this. So what do I mean by this? Well, on page 83 of my first book ever created, that I will send you anywhere in the world for $7, not to mention give you the ebook and the audiobook, on page 83, there's my thank you template. And it basically says, thanks for your time. You put a little something specific in there that's really tiny, that reiterates your qualification and why you think you're a great match. And then you sign off with, I'm more excited now because. That's it. That's all I want you to share. Now, when you go into an interviewing process and you are talking with the interviewer, it's really good to get an understanding of what the next step in the process is, by when that will happen and who will contact me as the job candidate. But a lot of us, we feel like, well, I didn't do really well in the interview, or I said something, and now that I'm ruminating and thinking about it, there's 18 different ways I wanted to answer that question, and I think I said it wrong, or I don't think they really understood what I meant. So now you go into multiple paragraphs trying to rectify something you said in the interview, when the fact of the matter is that you probably didn't have a hiccup as big as you think you had. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to make it look like you were not either quick on your feet, didn't know what you were talking about, didn't know how to respond when you got the question asked immediately. So you don't go into any of that. I would not relive the interview, and I would not make the thank you email any longer than this. So that's the first thing. We're spending a lot of time. Yes, I know there's one of you out there of the, I don't know how many people are here, right? Near 100 people. I'm sure one of you probably corrected yourself, ended up getting a job, and think that that's a pattern. But I'm telling you, at doing this at a high volume and a high velocity for decades, it's not the way to go. You never need to do that. Let the thank you in the wake of the interview be just that, a thank you. That's all you need. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when you do send a follow-up, because I know you will not resist, even though Coach Andy tells you, don't send any more follow-ups after the first one or the thank you. But what a lot of you do is you don't just follow up, you stalk. You keep sending message after message when you don't know what's going on their end. You should be waiting for them to get back to you. And when you send a follow-up, I'm not heartbroken if you send a follow-up because it's been a period of time, or maybe they've blown by the amount of time that they told you it was going to take them to get back to you. We'll get back to you in a couple of days. Maybe a week and a half has gone by, something like that. I don't have a problem with you following up, but if you follow up, you're not including a call to action. What do I mean? A call to action in an email that you're sending to an employer should have a question mark in it. It literally, because you never want to give a direct order to the recruiter or the hiring official, you want to ask a question as to when that will occur. So if you're going to follow up after 2 weeks because you haven't heard anything, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but just make sure that your follow-up said, I know you mentioned that you were going to reach out in a couple days. I thought since it's been a couple of weeks, I thought I would be proactive and follow up. Can you let me know if you have an update? Question mark. That's a call to action, but it's a loose call to action because if I don't have an update, I, as the recruiter, may not get back to you. So instead, what you want to do is, can you please let me know if you have any information about next steps? If you do not have that information, can you let me know by when we should reconnect or when you will reach back out to me or something of that nature? Question mark. That's what I mean. You should never need to send them anything more than one follow-up, even if you decide to send the one follow-up. I personally would just wait until they got back to me, but I know a lot of you you feel that you're as if you're in control, even though you're not, by sending messages directly to employers who are not getting back to you. Don't stalk them. One simple call to action, that's all you need. Don't look needy. Look in demand. Okay, the next thing, email with anyone in the interactions, any of the interviewers, any of the people you meet along the way. Email is for logistics primarily, not conversation. Do not be having dialogue about your philosophy about how you will grow their market via email. Why? Again, you're losing 93% of your communication. You do not want to be going back and forth. And the other thing that this does, and we're going to get to this in a bit, but still in this item number 3, is you are making that person take time to interact with you. And while I appreciate that might be something they're open to doing in the recruitment process, believe me, I don't want to be emailing back and forth with candidates who are in my recruitment process when I'm trying to juggle 5 of them. If all 5 of them did what you're doing, I would be annoyed to all hell. So it's for logistics. Where should I meet you? What time is the session? What's the Zoom link? By when are you going to get back to me? Those kinds of things. You want to keep your emails as tight as possible. So no conversations. All right. The next thing. Many of you will hear an interviewer say, this is so great. Send me whatever questions that you have. Don't ever send any questions during the interviewing process via email. That means 0, no questions of any kind other than, where's the Zoom link? What time are we meeting? Where's the coffee shop or whatever? It is never, literally never, a place for questions. Why? Let's see. Reason number 1. Again, 7% of your communication is in the words. That's all you have in the email. I have no idea why you want to know the answer to that question. In this book, again, last time I'll hold it up, but in Interview Intervention, I teach you how to ask questions. What is one of the most critical things when you ask a question is to explain the rationale behind why you want to know it. And why do we want to do that? Because when you ask me a question, I automatically think you want to know it for the reason I would want to know it. And that's just simply not true. And the other thing that this does is it puts me in a speculative state of mind. Why is she asking me about the distribution of the portfolio of our clients? Is she worried about the financial viability of the organization? Or is she more concerned that she's not going to be entered in and working and supporting the portfolio with the largest number of clients? There's umpteen different things. I might not know why you want to know what you want to know. That's number one. Number two, you've just given me a to-do. I've now got to respond. I have to take time out of my life and respond to your questions. Even though I invited you to do that, I still am not going to be as happy in 4 days from now when you send me 10 questions that I actually opened myself up to doing that. So while it might have been a kind gesture at the time, believe me, we get more stressed out by the things we say yes to than the things we say no to. And hiring officials and recruiters are no different. Just because they made the offer doesn't mean you need to take them up on it. So I want you to realize this is not a good medium, and it's not only not a good medium during the interviewing process, it is especially a killer when you get down to the negotiation. Okay, so email number 5, do not, under any circumstance, negotiate anything via email when you get down to the end. Why? For all the reasons I've already told you. There's absolutely no way I can truly understand why you're asking what you're asking. That's number one. Number two, now I'm going to start worried if I'm getting a lot of questions and I can't hear your tone, I can't hear your inflection. The other thing that you cannot do is you cannot immediately correct me if I misinterpret why you want to know what you want to know. The other thing is, in negotiations, they're fluid. Even if they happen in one discussion, they can be fluid. I'm open to this. Can you create a compensation structure that gets me to this level? I'm open to the way that you accommodate that, whether that's base, bonus, stock equity, guaranteed minimum bonus, sign-on bonus, so on and so forth. What can you do? Well, we can't give you a sign-on. Let's slide it over to here. You cannot have these real-time discussions. And whatever you do not send them all your stock option schedule of what you're giving up by joining them. Okay, now, I've had people come to me for coaching sessions and say to me, I said, you didn't send them anything yet. Well, I gave them all my stocks and the millions of dollars that I'm going to forfeit if I start in May instead of September. It's like, how are you explaining what you're willing to do, what you're willing to give up? And then if you're going to lose all this money, why are you even interviewing with me? So you do not want to do any negotiation. And you're going to say, well, dear Coach Andy, they asked me a question about the compensation via email. You say, I'd be happy to discuss that. I'd love to have a quick phone call with you. I think that'll be the fastest way to resolve any questions that you and I have. You point to the benefit of getting on the phone or getting on the Zoom or walking your fanny down to the office. Okay, so these to me are the 5 absolute biggest killers when you start emailing during the recruitment cycle. Just to recap really quick, a thank you is just that. Thanks. We're a perfect match. I'm more excited now than ever because you're just the bomb. Okay. It's a follow-up, should have a call to action if you need to follow up. 1 is enough. There's absolutely no reason for you to send a follow-up, let alone more than 1. Next thing, logistics only, no conversations. Again, you're losing a lot of the intonation, the meaning, the correction, and all of that. No questions, please. And especially not when it comes to money. Okay, quick one today. If you enjoyed that, please click the like button. Share this. People need help. There's a lot going on and making mistakes when it comes to emailing in the interviewing process. Job searching is really tough. Make sure you subscribe to the station so you get my new videos every Tuesday and live office hours on Thursday. Not to mention probably some other good shorts that we do every other day of the week that Kara puts out. All right, if you are here with me live, we're going to the Q&A. If you're watching this on the recording, I'll see you next week.